So here, without further ado, is David John Sponheim for president.
Thank you, Sarah. My choice as vice president in the 2016 election, I will be doing everything I can to work together with Sarah to come up with great ways to stop the incredible waste in our nation. That's got to be the biggest problem. Somebody asked me in the chat room tonight, what's the biggest problem facing the country? And I think it's accountability.
Accountability?
They haven't cut the waste. They haven't lowered the budget like they said they were going to.
Well, I wonder if it's like an overall view of the future. You know, we have two different sides, of course, the Democrats and Republicans. Both sides, they say, are two sides of the same coin. They're both pro-corporation.
Right.
And I kind of tend to think that we need to look at our entire system, our entire financial system, our entire society. And I think that in some ways it's time to go back to the drawing board. The one thing that we need to keep, though, is this wonderful document, the Constitution of the United States.
That's right. This is the very backbone of what we stand for. We want to get back to our constitutional rights, and we see them eroding under the two parties. Case in point, Obama and the Republicans both think that the NSA are doing a good job when they openly have stated that they're watching everything and listening to everything we do.
Wait, who thinks the NSA is doing a good job?
Barack Obama said on Jay Leno that they're not, well, make no mistake about it, they're not listening in. When they openly are.
Obviously, they are listening in.
Yeah.
I mean, the issue is, of course, like, you cannot be guaranteed privacy, but of course the UN then wanted to use that as a method to, let's create an international law to regulate the internet or regulate the people who are monitoring the internet.
Right.
And to me, that can be treading on very thin ice, because once you have a law, especially an international law, to monitor the internet, I mean, that could potentially be worse than what they were talking about with SOPA and PIPA and things of that nature.
Somebody just asked us, how many times can you count where they seem to steal ideas from you? And I can count about 5 times major ideas have been taken from us. My fast-track naturalization plan, which I coined back in 2008, has been copied by Barack Obama, the name, but not the plan. He wants to create an open door policy with people coming into our country. And Sarah and I have talked about this. Sarah's idea, which was recent, was to have people go back to their home country,
yes,
learn English and history and government at the embassy, and then come into the country as a citizen, legal citizen, but charge them a certain amount as a fee to get this fast-track naturalization thing off the ground.
So basically, I do think that we need to reevaluate our path towards citizenship, and my idea, like David was saying, is have them become a citizen in their own country through the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, in fact, it sends people back home. What people could do is give us a filing fee of, say, $40. We'd check to make sure they didn't have a criminal background, and then they would be given an opportunity to go back to their home country, go to the American embassy there, and then take English as a primary language and history and government classes, which will be free for a set fee. And I'm thinking like $1,000 possibly. You know, people are paying $3,000 to come into the country illegally through coyotes. So maybe $1,000 might get them back home. They can visit their family, and then they can come back as a real legitimate U.S. citizen. This is just an incentive to make sure that immigration is handled properly, not some nonsensical open season where Barack Obama is now, along with the Republicans, with this ridiculous immigration plan they have now, opening the door to illegal aliens. 3 times as many are coming over the border right now thinking that they're going to get in on this deal that Obama and the Republicans have forged. Well, the days of the two-party system are going to come to an end soon, folks. What is happening is the American people are becoming more and more disillusioned with the stupidity of these two parties and their inability to find any common ground on the budget.
Well, when you say it's coming to an end soon, it technically came to an end last night. The government shut down because they could not agree to a budget.
Right.
Today, the national parks were all closed. There was also, just a sec. Oh, go ahead. The national parks were closed. The Smithsonian Institute was closed. They will continue to send out Social Security checks. The military will continue to be paid, but technically the government is shut down
Yeah.
currently.
Now, why did they shut the parks down? I mean, they can keep those open. They just need trash collectors. We don't need park
Oh,
rangers.
97% of NASA's employees are also on furlough. The thing
Great.
is that the thing is, David, that if you know there's people that are not nearly as neat and nice as you, trash can build up so quickly because people are so.
That's what I'm saying. We've got trash
Scary.
collection problems, Sarah. We don't have a need for park rangers to run around on a budget of 65 to 130,000 a year to pretend like they're doing something. I mean, I personally know of a place where park rangers sit there all day long, do nothing, make 85,000 a year, and then retire with $85,000 a year pensions after 25 years in the service. We don't need these people, and we don't need to be charged to go into our parks. So I'd say open the doors to all the parks in America and just create a robust trash collection system. That's all we need. Trash collection is primarily it.
Who's
Seriously.
going to be paid? I mean, how are you going to pay for the trash collectors?
Well, we're gonna have
funds, or-
those funds come out of the bargain basement of our fund collection. We're probably going to transfer funds directly from Wall Street, where
How
we've given
about-
them so much money. It's ridiculous. I mean, why would we be shutting down when we've given all this money to Wall Street and they've never given it back? Think about it, folks. You know, the trash collection in this country is about the only major thing that is really critical. I mean, if it builds up, we can create a complete disease problem in various cities. So we need to have trash collection. We need fire services, but back in the day, firemen would only come to houses that paid into the fireman's fund.
Right.
In the old days.
So, I mean, in some ways, it's like maybe people should only be able to go into the park to pay a fee so that they pay, so that it's
Yep.
covered, the fees are covered. But then, of course, you have to pay for someone collecting the fee and things of that nature.
Okay, so we have a Tangential Tuesday show going on where we talk about various things from our personal lives to your personal lives, and it can get kind of weird. One of the things that we've been doing on this show is interacting with as many chats as we can. We've got this chat hub, which we created at coolrock.com.
And I actually scroll down underneath the video. The video pops up at top. But I scroll down underneath it and watch the 3 chat rooms that are underneath that video. And then I have a different window open for one on our site, which is americasthirdparty.com/.
All right.
video.
Well, as much as I like to, fantasize about rangers doing something important in the parks, and I'm sure they do some things that are important, but frankly, seriously, we have trash collection problems at the parks. We have to fill the toilet paper rolls. That's about it. So let's be realistic. We've got a staff of federal employees making over $150,000 a year. There's 77,000 federal employees making over $150,000 a year, and frankly, that's got to stop. So if they shut the government down, gee, what's going to happen? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They'll not get their payment from our tax dollars? I mean, we've got to be realistic here, folks. These people are sucking our government dry, and our government is essentially financed off tax dollars. Now, recently, Merck fired, or is planning on firing, 8,500 employees. 8,500 employees will be fired from Merck, the pharmaceutical company. This is in news that the generic pharmaceuticals are kind of leaning in on their business. But get this, it's going to cost Merck nearly $3 billion to give all those people, those 8,500 people, severance packages. That's a lot of severance pay to go out. So they're looking at down the road saving much more long term by not having these employees. But Merck hires about 90,000 people. Getting rid of 8,500 is not that big of a deal. But it's going to be a big deal for those people. They're not going to be making $200,000 a year anymore. And they're not going to be able to rip us off because the American people want low-cost generic pharmaceuticals. They don't want to get ripped off. So the economy, the market economy that we see Obama is trying to ignore through all of his policies, with his socialist policies, the market economy is finally telling the big companies now to start firing your middle management. It's finally coming through after 4 years. All these big companies that have been living on borrowed time from the Federal Reserve, giving them free loans, are now facing the music that a lot of us have faced the past 4 years. So the government shutdown has got to happen. It's got to happen. And if the Democrats think that they can continue raising the debt limit, then their days are numbered as a political party, because we can't afford it anymore. We can barely meet the interest payment on our debt as it is, with the income that we're making off the tax dollars that are rolling into this country. We need hybrid capitalism. We need a brand new direction. And our goal when we wrote Hybrid Capitalism was to create a simple set of solutions that would solve complex problems in our society. And I think we've got them. By the way, this is a backdrop of a HARP behind me, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project in Alaska. And we've got a lot of people in our chat room tonight. I should show you guys the list of people. Let me just bring that up on camera. Candy Rain just made it in. And we've got all kinds of people.
Cool.
We've got this guy in the middle, Broken Saint Obamas. I guess this guy liked my blackface video so much he made it his picture. I should open up the chat and listen to people. Let me do that since it is Tangential.
David, you see on
hey everybody.
Jacques' video is my wedding right now. That's me getting married.
Oh really? Oh cool.
Oh, that
nice.
was you
And that's
getting
Jacques
married.
from Meow TV, and in the middle is our guest. It would be Rodney with the Broke Obamas video. We've got the Awesome Carl show coming in, second term. We interact with everybody we can on our nightly show, and this is something that I think really helps. We have an interconnectivity between you and the future government. We want you to be a part of this. In fact, if you become a member of America's Third Party, go to our website, and especially if you become an elector in your state, because we need as many electors as we can possibly get, we will integrate you into our administration. It's just like the other two parties. You will be offered a job at any level in the new administration with a third-party president. We want to include all of you. In fact, we want to give everybody an opportunity to do the things that they want to do, at least try to do that, because polls have shown that 85% of our population doesn't even like their job. There's a lot of people that are very unhappy with their job. So, great.
Exactly. I'm very.
Hang on, you got one little typo there. Let me put it right there and use the backspace. Okay. I guess. Okay,
My
we're giving
green
you,
screen is not as good as yours.
really your green screen. Yeah, it's tough to get the green screen perfectly.
Sometimes it's tricky, actually.
I've got a little empty spot up actually over there on the green screen. Let me go while we're in the chat room. Let me go fix that. No, I got to fix that. Let's move this over.
I just already did.
That's better.
Okay. I want to thank
This
everybody for
sucks.
coming in and watching our show. Is it cool to close the recording? Or are you
Well, yeah, I do want to touch on a couple things that are happening. There's some killer
It's the
horn.
claw coming for you.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite backgrounds, David. It's
Okay,
some
I'm gonna
P2
stop
fighters
then.
during World
Can
War
I
II.
close the recording?
Yeah, let's close the recording in just a second. I'm going to just close up. Thank you very much. The P2 fighter, interesting. Well, as you can see, we are interacting with a lot of people, and we do this every single night, 6 to 9, except for Sundays. We take a break and for ourselves on Sunday, a day of rest, if you will. But don't forget, we've got the Anti-War Show on Saturday. That's my show, where I talk to everybody I can about stopping Obama's effort to create a war in Syria and getting the American people on track with how we're going to bring our troops home and work toward ending the Fed. That's something that's very important because we can't allow the reckless printing of money and giving it to Wall Street like we've seen over the past 4 years. It's not fixing our economy. Great. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Have a great night.